Hey everyone, this is Ryan, and in today's video we'll take a look at creating links in our app that will launch a new tab for the user. And one of the key items that we have here is not only is just the look and feel, but we also want to include the pointer icon so that it resembles a website where you hover over a link, you will actually see the pointer icon. And when they click it, it launches the file. So the first thing we want to do is look at our current layout. On the left, we have a list of clients, and when you select a client, our files list on the right will be updated. So what we want to do is update the file list so that it's a clickable link for each file. So the first thing we have to do here is click on our label. We want it to make it look like a link. So to do that, we have to change around the color of the font. And then we will have to underline it. So there's a nice standard blue here that could be used, and we can underline it. So if we press play on our app and then we try to click it, of course nothing happens. And the other thing that you will notice here is there's the text icon. So I want to show you something that, it could be considered a mistake. It may not work, correctly for your end users. So if I were to launch this file, so we'll use link to item, and you will see that it does launch, but the icon is incorrect. After many years of, using websites and stuff like that, users expect the pointer icon to appear. So to do that, what we will do is add an overlay to the label. So what we will do is the first item that we could do is an icon, and the second is a button. So an icon is the easiest way to have an overlay. And so what we will do is we'll look for the add icon here, and we'll drag it in and drop it here. So one thing that we will do is we'll change around the dimensions of it. So you'll want this obviously to fit, the size that you want on your side. So I'm just trying to make it nicely overlaid with the label here. And we'll change around the width. So I'll enter about, the width of the file length here of the gallery. And the one thing that I'll do here is, since we do have an icon and we don't want it to appear in the middle, what we can do is just make it transparent. So when you select the color of your icon, you see an option for transparent down here. So if we go and press play, you will notice when I hover, we get the pointer icon. And when we click, nothing is popping up. So at this point, what we can do is, if we go back to our icon here, so this is our icon, and if we go to the onSelect property, we can type in launch, and we could say this item, link to item. So here, what we could do is when the user clicks, we can now see the files. So it's a nice way to have that interactive experience where it resembles a website where you have the proper pointer icons. Now that's the first option that you can use, and the simplest one. Another one is a button overlay, which involves a bit more work, and that's why I left it as the second option. So what we will do is we will actually delete this icon, and instead what we will do is add a button. So we'll drag and drop the button here, and we'll use the same dimensions as the icon. And what we will do is just bring it over to the left, bring it up. So the first thing that we have is the button color and the font, or the font in the middle. So we can remove the font. That's pretty easy to do. There should be no value there. And you can also remove the color, and we could say that's transparent. So there's a good overlay. But there's a couple other properties involved here. So if I go and press play, there's hover, and then there's pressed. So what you have to do is make those transparent as well. So if I click on the button again, I can go down to the pressed fill and say it's transparent. And then I can go to the hover fill and say it's transparent as well. So now if I go here and I click, you'll see that there's no color changes involved. So at this point, I can go to the on select property of my button here. And what I will do is add that simple launch code. So we'll say launch. And then we will say this item. And we'll link to this item. And so at this point, if I press play, here you can see if I switch between the files here, I can now click on them and open them. So this is an easy way to make URLs or links in your app that resemble a web page and have that pointer icon with the overlays. So it's consistent behavior with how other apps work or websites work.